The Afterwords presents an interview with Dr. Johannes Faustus. This interview is a work of fiction and intended solely for entertainment purposes. The responses attributed to Dr. Johannes Faustus are entirely imagined, and any resemblance to real events or persons, living or deceased, is purely coincidental. The content presented here is not meant to convey actual historical facts or suggest supernatural communication with the dead.
Today, we delve into the world of Dr. Johannes Faustus, known in legend as the infamous scholar and magician who purportedly sold his soul to the devil for worldly knowledge and power. A figure immortalized in literature, most notably in Goethe's Faust and Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus. The historical Faustus is believed to have lived during the early 16th century, though much about his life remains shrouded in mystery. Some accounts describe him as a wandering alchemist, astrologer, and necromancer, dabbling in forbidden knowledge, while others consider him an over-ambitious scholar brought down by hubris. In this exclusive interview, Dr. Faustus speaks to us from beyond, reflecting on the choices that led him to his infamous pact, and offering insights into the eternal struggle between knowledge, power, and the human soul.
Who was Dr. Faustus really? Were you a misunderstood scholar, or were the legends about your dark magic true?
Ah, the question that lingers like a shadow in every room I once occupied. Who was I? A man, first and foremost, flesh and bone like you. But the hunger within me was not for bread or water. It was for knowledge, for understanding the intricate web of the universe. I was, at heart, a scholar, a student of philosophy, theology, and alchemy. Yet, as any man of learning might tell you, the more one knows, the more one thirsts for that which lies beyond. The legends of my dealings in dark magic are exaggerated, but not without a kernel of truth. I did indeed seek to understand forces beyond the natural order, forces that some might label as dark. Whether that was hubris or curiosity is for history to judge, though I have found that one is often indistinguishable from the other.
How did it feel to make a pact with the devil? Did you ever regret it?
To make a pact with the devil is to dance on the edge of reason and madness. At first it was exhilarating, intoxicating even. The prospect of boundless knowledge, of power that surpassed the mortal realm, how could one resist? But with every gift came a greater weight. You see, regret is a peculiar thing. It doesn't come all at once like a lightning bolt from the heavens. No, it creeps in slowly, seeping into the mind during quiet moments, in the stillness between grand achievements. By the time regret set in, it was far too late. Would I have done it again? It depends on when you ask. In the heat of my ambition, I would have said yes. But in the silence of my final moments, as I stood on the precipice of damnation, well, the answer is different then.
Why did you feel the need to sell your soul? Was it worth it?
To sell one's soul, such a crude way to frame it. But yes, that is what it amounted to, isn't it? You see, there is a limit to what the human mind can grasp on its own. I had reached that limit and I wanted more. More knowledge, more understanding, more mastery over the forces that shape our world and others. As for whether it was worth it, well, what is worth? I learned secrets that no mortal should ever know. I touched the fabric of existence and bent it to my will. But with that power came a cost. There are moments, fleeting moments, where I feel it was worth it, if only for the brief flashes of clarity I gained. But mostly, no, it was not worth the price.
What did you learn from the devil that you couldn't learn through normal means?
The devil, Mephistopheles as he presented himself to me, did not so much teach me as show me. The difference is subtle but profound. What could I have learned through normal means? The natural sciences, philosophy, the stars themselves, these are within reach for any man with patience and determination. But what I sought was beyond that. I wanted to understand the forces behind creation, the laws that govern not just our world, but all worlds. Mephistopheles offered me a glimpse behind the curtain to see the machinery of existence. I learned of dimensions beyond ours, of entities that exist in realms where time does not flow as it does here. I saw the very fabric of reality stretched and twisted by forces we cannot comprehend. This is not knowledge one can gain from books or scrolls. It is dangerous knowledge, and therein lies its allure.
What would you say to someone today who might be considering making the same choice you did?
Ah, the temptation to tread the path I once walked. It is a dangerous road, my friend. There is a moment when the choice feels simple, even justifiable. What is a soul? You might ask yourself, as I did. A fleeting thing, intangible, surely worth less than the wealth of knowledge and power offered in return. But the truth is, the soul is not merely a currency to be traded. It is the core of what you are, what you could become. To barter it away is to lose more than you can ever hope to gain. My advice? Seek knowledge, yes, but know your limits. Some doors, once opened, cannot be closed again. And the price is far steeper than you realize.
Were you ever truly happy, even with all the power you gained?
Happiness. It is such a fragile, fleeting thing, is it not? I had moments of joy, moments when the thrill of discovery or the rush of newfound power brought a smile to my lips. But true happiness? None. How can one be happy when they have traded away their very essence? The closer I came to the ultimate truths I sought, the further I drifted from the things that bring genuine contentment, companionship, love, peace of mind. Power is a lonely pursuit, and the higher you climb, the colder it becomes. In the end, the power I gained felt hollow, a gilded cage of my own making.
What was the most terrifying thing you encountered during your pursuit of forbidden knowledge?
Ah, terror. Now that I know well. There are many things that might terrify the ordinary man. Demons, spirits, forces unseen but felt. But for me, the most terrifying thing was something far more subtle. The realization that there is no end to it. Knowledge, you see, is infinite. There is always more to know, more to learn, more to uncover. And the further you delve, the more you realize how insignificant you are in the grand scheme of things. That is true terror, not a demon at your door, but the crushing weight of your own insignificance in a cosmos that stretches on without end, without care.
Did you ever try to escape your pact?
I did. Oh, how I tried. I sought counsel from every corner of the earth, consulted texts both sacred and profane, hoping to find a loophole, a way out. But once the pact is sealed, it is as if the very threads of fate tighten around you. I was bound, not just by my agreement with Mephistopheles, but by my own desire, my own ambition. You see, even as I sought to escape, part of me clung to the power I had gained. I was ensnared by my own lust for knowledge. To break free would have meant renouncing everything I had worked for. In the end, there was no escape, not from the pact, and not from myself.
What was it like working with Mephistopheles? Was he as evil as the stories say? Or was there more to him?
Mephistopheles. The very name conjures images of pure malevolence, does it not? But as with all things, the truth is not so simple. He was not the horned demon of medieval imagination, nor did he seethe with hate and fury. No, he was far more dangerous than that, because he was calm, rational, and, dare I say, relatable. He was not evil in the way you might expect. Rather, he was pragmatic, detached, and disturbingly human. Mephistopheles did not tempt me with malice or cruelty. He presented the facts, laid the options before me, and allowed me to make my choice. That was the most terrifying part. His indifference. He did not care whether I succeeded or failed, lived or died, only that the terms of our agreement were fulfilled. He reflected something of myself back at me, and in that reflection, I saw the darkest parts of my soul.
Did you ever love anyone, or was your pursuit of knowledge all-consuming?
Love. The one thing I could never master. The one force that eluded me no matter how much I learned. Yes, I did love once. Perhaps more than once, though my memories of it are blurred by the fog of my obsession. There was a time when my heart beat not just for the thrill of discovery, but for the warmth of another. Yet, love requires vulnerability, and I could not allow myself that. In the end, my love, like everything else, became a casualty of my ambition. The pursuit of knowledge demands sacrifices, and in my case, love was among the first to be laid on the altar. I have often wondered whether things might have been different had I chosen love over power, but such thoughts are a luxury of hindsight, are they not?
What was your final moment like when you realized your soul was lost?
My final moment. Oh, how I have relived that moment in my mind, over and over, in the endless years since. It was not dramatic, as one might imagine. There was no great flash of light, no cacophony of hellish screams. Instead, there was a deep and profound silence. In that silence, I felt the weight of all my choices press down upon me like a leaden shroud. My body, my mind, everything felt heavy, as though the very earth was dragging me into its embrace. And then the realization, it was over. There was no time left to bargain, no clever scheme to outwit the forces I had unleashed. I was alone with my thoughts, my regrets, my soul slipping away like sand through my fingers. It was not the fire and brimstone I had feared. It was worse. It was emptiness.
If you had one more chance, one more life, what would you do differently?
Ah, the tantalizing prospect of one more chance. How often have I pondered that in the endless stretches of time since my fall? There is a cruel irony in being granted the knowledge I craved, only to understand too late what truly matters. If I had one more life, I would tread a different path. I would still pursue knowledge, for that is the essence of who I am, but I would do so with humility. I would seek balance. I would embrace love, friendship, and the simple joys of human existence, things I so easily discarded in my previous life. I would still gaze upon the stars, but I would remember to keep my feet on the ground. But alas, there is no second chance. The pact was made, and the consequences are eternal.
Do you believe you were a victim of your time? If you had lived today in the age of science and technology, would things have turned out differently?
A fascinating question. Yes, in some ways I was a victim of my time. The 16th century was a world poised between the medieval and the modern, a time when the boundaries between science, magic, and religion were blurred. Alchemy, astrology, necromancy, these were not seen as mere superstition, but as legitimate pursuits of knowledge. Yet I was also a product of my own choices. Even today, in the age of science and technology, there are Fausts among you, those who would sacrifice everything for power, fame, or understanding. The tools have changed, but the human soul remains the same. Perhaps, if I had lived today, I would have found a different outlet for my ambition. But knowing myself as I do, I suspect the outcome might not be so different.
How do you feel about the way your story has been told and retold in literature and drama? Does it do justice to who you were?
It is strange, is it not, to see one's life mythologized, twisted, and reinterpreted by those who never knew you. Marlowe, Goethe, countless others. They have all taken my story and reshaped it to fit their own purposes. Do these stories do justice to who I was? In part, perhaps. They capture the ambition, the yearning, the tragic fall. But they miss the nuance, the quiet moments of doubt, the complexity of my motives. I was not merely a power-hungry sorcerer, nor was I a tragic hero brought down by fate. I was both and neither. But that is the nature of stories, is it not? They simplify, they distort. In the end, I have become a symbol of hubris, of the dangers of forbidden knowledge. and perhaps that is enough.
What do you think happens after death? Now that you've experienced it, can you share what lies beyond?
Ah, the ultimate question, the one that all men fear and yet are irresistibly drawn to. What lies beyond death? It is not what I expected, I can tell you that. The afterlife is not a single place, nor is it governed by the rules we understand in life. There is no single heaven or hell, no pearly gates or fiery abyss. Instead, there are realms, some beautiful, some terrifying, some incomprehensible to the human mind. What you find after death depends, I believe, on what you sought in life. For me, the afterlife has been a place of reflection, of endless contemplation. I have encountered beings both wondrous and monstrous, entities that defy all logic. But the greatest revelation is this: the journey does not end with death. It is merely a continuation, a new chapter in the eternal quest for understanding. And so my pursuit of knowledge goes on, though the price I paid in life still haunts me.
Dr. Johannes Faustus, the man behind the legend, offers us a haunting glimpse into the mind of someone who dared to push beyond the boundaries of what is known and suffered the consequences. His story is a reminder that the pursuit of power and knowledge, without balance or humility, can lead to ruin. Yet, even in ruin, there are lessons to be learned, lessons that echo through the centuries and resonate with us today. Thank you for joining us for this special episode of the Afterwords.